Well, folks, probably one of my most controversial videos on the channel in some time now. And yes, I'm going to be talking about Fatima. Now, keep in mind, before you go in the comments, you always talk about Fatima. Oh, you always talking about Karen. You hate black women. You don't ever call out Zach. I did an entire video about Zach and his inconsideration or inconsiderate behavior towards Fatima and her feelings. So shut the heck up if you want to comment that BS. But if you want to troll me in the comments, go ahead, because all the engagement means that YouTube pushes my videos out to more people, meaning more views, meaning more ad revenue for me. So you're filling up my pockets with your hatred. Go ahead, troll me. I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm probably going to get demonetized because of that statement. No, I won't. Anyway, let's get into it. So, Fatima, I made a post last night on Twitter, and I know this set some people off. And the thing is, I saw some people that agree with me because I'm right. You want to know why I'm right? It's not just because I have an opinion, because an opinion, everybody has it, and everybody's opinion could be right or wrong. But I use facts from the dang show to back up my claims. All I said was this. Yes, Zach was doing way too much tonight and wasn't considering Fatima's feelings or listening to her. However, let us not forget, Fatima was acting inconsiderate of Zach during Sistas season 5, part of Zatima season 1, particularly the back half, so season 1B, and Zatima season 2. Yes, the circumstances were different, although you can't deny her whole character needing to process stuff, believing the worst about Zach, never hearing him out, not allowing him to speak on things. Like, whenever Fatima wanted to address something, it had to be done in the moment, whether or not Zach was ready. But whenever Zach wanted to talk about his feelings about something, Fatima would put it on hold until she had processed stuff. Basically, that showed she isn't perfect. Again, I am not trying to excuse Zach's behavior in this episode or season 7 in general. I'm just pointing out that Fatima used to do the same shit that Zach is doing right now. Oh, and the people wanted to uproar about it. And I'm looking at the comments and it's like, you can't keep justifying Zach's current wrongdoings by bringing up Fatima's past because that's childish. And I'm like, but you're missing the point here. I'm not justifying what Zach is doing. I'm saying he is doing too much. I'm saying he is wrong for just rubbing Fatima's nose in the sonogram pit like, oh, I'm having twins. I knocked up. I put 2 up in there. And it's like, that's your ex. And you're talking to your fiance about knocking her up. Like, bro, slow your roll. Now, some of these tweets, let's see. No, she grew up. That's the difference in how the presence she is. Some of these tweets don't make sense. She only needs a moment so she won't go off on here prematurely. But the thing about it is, she did do that. I mean, think about how many times she would just yell up in Zach's face. Like, Zach would be talking calm and everything, but then Fatima will be the one raising and cussing. But then the moment he raises his voice, don't you talk to me like that. And it's like that one time the promo showed Fatima shoving Zach out of in his face, but then that was kind of cut from the episode. And I'm like, people forget. I get it. Zach is doing this stuff now. It's like, what is it called? Recency bias, where you just, point to things that are happening in the present, but forgetting about how good or how bad things were in the past. When you look at like season 5 with the whole ordeal with the photo somebody took of Zach and Karen hugging at the salon, and it looked like, they were kissing, and then all the turmoil that caused. And then, earlier in the season where Fatima went off on Zach at the gym and then he accidentally called her Karen. There are just so many times when Zach has wanted to address something, and Fatima has these scenarios in her head. Like, I want to give Zach 10 seconds when I come through the door and he better tell me everything about that photo. And it's like, you shove a phone in his face and he doesn't know how the hell to respond to that because he was caught off guard, not just by Fatima, but by the photo too. And every time, how many times did Fatima say, oh, Zach, I love you and I trust you. But then the moment like Angela or somebody gives her an inkling of a reason to doubt, she throws all that love and trust out the window and she automatically goes to hating Zach. So you can sit up here and, vouch for your girl. And look, I actually like Fatima this season. I think that I said season 6 was the beginning of the turn for her character. I'm like, okay, this is a Fatima I like, because season 5 Fatima was the worst Fatima I've ever seen. And season 7 Zach, I gotta say, this is quite possibly going to end up my least favorite iteration of the character. So I don't know why people think that because I say something about Fatima that I hate all black women, or I don't call out the male characters. No, I'm telling the freaking truth. And if you can't, I'm just saying, anybody in the comments that says, oh, you can't bring up Fatima's past. Here's the thing. Yes, I can, because it's part of the freaking show. It's called continuity. Yeah, the continuity isn't always something that makes sense, but in this show, the proof is in the pudding. I'm just pointing out that the way that Zach is inconsiderate, and again, I am saying Zach is being inconsiderate, which is one of those things where it's like, how can you say I'm not calling out Zach ever when I just did? Zach is being inconsiderate to Fatima and her feelings regarding all this child and baby mama stuff, in the same way that Fatima would always make things about her, in terms of when I feel bent out of shape about something, when I, don't want to address something. While Fatima was more reserved, well, I need to process things, but then she'll lash out at somebody. Zach is kind of the opposite, where he's like overly eager, and that excitement overtakes everybody else. It's like, oh, well, I got these kids, I need to move this around, I need to do this. But it's like, hey, you got a live-in fiance. I think you need to discuss certain things with her before you move forward. So, folks, you can sit up here, you can say what you want about me, but I'm telling the freaking truth. Fatima used to be just as inconsiderate as Zach was. Now, some people did say, well, Jeremy, she is kind of being inconsiderate now, the way she just stormed off against Zach. But I'm like, in that moment, I can understand, because in the moment, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I understand Fatima needs to process, because she was about to blow up on Zach. But she had every reason to, because just like with Zach, saying, you know what, fine, I'm going to, get out my face, or get out my face, Fatima, or remember how you blew up at me at the gym and said, if you don't let me go and let me, cool off, I'm going to tear this place up. I want to do the same thing right now to this kitchen. Basically saying that in the moment, I don't want to talk, because if I do, I'm going to say something I regret. Then she cooled off after she went out for a drink and then came back. That scene still made no sense. Then she talked things out with Zach. So I feel like in the moment, yeah, you have to realize Fatima was right to take a breath, because she needed it. This was a day full of turmoil. A lot of bombs were just dropped at her, and she needed to find some coverage before she can come back to safely explain the way she felt about something. But yeah, Fatima has been inconsiderate, just like Zach is now. And that's all I'm saying. Enough said. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.